In this lesson, we're going to look at something called substitution. Now, an easy way to understand substitution is to look at this number machine here. Now, a number machine has an in value, and it has an operation and an out value. Now, the operation in this case is add 3. If I said x was going in, then you would have no idea what was coming out until I told you what x was. If I said x was 4, then you could replace that here with a 4, and you would say 4 plus 3, and you would see that 7 would come out. So the idea behind substitution is the same idea as substitution in a football pitch. If one player goes off, then another one comes on and replaces them. And in this scenario, the x goes away, and you can replace it with a number. So 3 plus 3 would be 6. Or you could replace the x with a 5. And 5 plus 3 would be 8. Now, before we start any harder substitution questions, I'm going to briefly talk about squaring a number and also square rooting. So when you're asked to square a number in mathematics, that means you multiply the number by itself. Think of a square, length and breadth are exactly the same, and if you tried to work out the area of that square, you would multiply the number by itself. So the square of 8 is 8 times 8, which is 64. You can see that, or say that is 8 squared. That also means 8 times 8. Or most commonly in mathematics we see it like this, 8 and a wee 2 above, and that means 8 times 8. It does not mean 8 times 2. Common mistake for that people to make is to double the number. It means multiplied by itself. And as I was saying, the area of a square can be calculated using that length times length. Now, square rooting is the undoing function, or the inverse function of this. So if you're saying that 8 squared is 64, then the reverse process is what number times itself equals 64. So the square root of 64 is 8. The square root of 100 is 10, because 10 times 10 makes 100. The square root of 16 is 4, because 4 times 4 makes 16. And we see this in mathematics like this, it's a wee tick. Quite often you see it also with a wee bit on the top like that. You can see it either way, but the square root of 64 means what number multiplied by itself gives you that answer. Now, most of the square roots you'll deal with at the moment will give you an exact answer. It's not always the case. For example, if I square root 7, I would get 2.645 blah 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 in the calculator. If you think of all the square numbers, if you square root them, you'll get a whole number answer. Square root of 25 is 5, square root of 36 is 6, square root of 49 is 7, and so on.